A couple questions for you here. You mentioned low vibrations. You mentioned frequencies. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with the one of the greatest minds of our generation, of our time, Terrence Howard. Are you familiar with him at all?
No, but explain the thought process.
So yeah, Terrence Howard, one of the greatest minds of our time. He asserts that frequencies, they have intrinsic power that resonates throughout history, and it influences our emotional, physiological, and cognitive states. Do you tend to agree with that?
So it would be, what the better word would be to use epigenetics. So epigenetics is the transfer of vibrational data through the generations.
Now,
that is not what epigenetics means.
Hold on,
it does not mean the transfer of vibrational data.
Hold on.
It actually does. I have degrees in this stuff.
Okay, you have degrees in
degrees in epigenetics, huh?
I have a degree in psychology and social behavior, and I have a degree in counseling, and I also have a life coach certification from an institute that specializes in quantum physics and vibrational resonance.
So in your psychology degree, did they explain to you that epigenetics is the study of vibrational frequency passed down through the generation? I just want this on record.
So for example, they have studied now in rats, right? In pregnant rats. They do these tests where the pregnant rat, they can tell now because they use water and the vibration of water and all this stuff in the mom. But vibrational data, meaning basically the traumas and the emotional information from the mother gets transferred to that baby that she's pregnant with, and that goes back 7 generations.
That is not vibrational data.
It actually
which is being transferred. No. In biology, epigenetics is the study of heritable traits or a stable change of cell function that happen without changes to the DNA sequence. These are not studies of the vibrational intergenerational frequencies of parents and sons, daughters, and heritability of vibrations. That's absurd. That's esotericism tossed in to epigenetics, which is a real legitimate scientific study. It's not about esoteric vibrations.
Your school of science and my school of science didn't date, apparently. So that's fine.
Your school of science studies vibrational frequencies passed down, heritable frequencies.
So my greatest mentor and who taught me about quantum physics and vibrational information is Mary Morrissey. You can look her up. She runs the Brave Thinking Institute, and she's a master. She's a master at creating anything you want. It's a science. It's called quantum physics, okay? Because we're all vibrational beings, and we are passing on vibrational information.
All right, so I've got a couple, I want to run some, this is from Terrence Howard. I just want to run this by you and see if you kind of concur. Mm-hmm. So he says, with the science that Pythagoras was searching for, he's made discoveries in his own personal life, with the science that Pythagoras was searching for, he was able to open up the flower of life properly and find the real wave conjugations that we've been looking for 10,000 years. Why would I continue walking on water for tips when I got an entire... Okay, that's something else. Hold on, let me find the other quote. 1 second here. He says that... 1 sec, I'm getting it. He says all the energy in the universe is expressed in motion. All motion is expressed in waves. Yep. All waves are curves. So where does the straight lines come from to make the platonic solids? There are no straight lines. So when I took the flower of life and opened it properly, I found all new wave conjugations that expose the in-between spaces.
Yep.
It's the thing that holds us all together.
Yep.
And
so straight lines or solid matter is an optical illusion. It's not really what's going on scientifically. So if you hold it under the right microscope, you see there's no straight lines. There is vibration. Everything is moving, and it's waves. It's sound waves. It's all of this. And that is what our body is actually reading the data coming in.
Now hold on.
Okay.
So he also says that he's able to prove that gravity is only an effect and not a force. Do you tend to agree with that, or?
Gravity is only an effect and not a force. God, that's such a complicated way of saying that. I'm trying to translate it into common speak, because that's the problem. A lot of stuff gets lost in translation, to be honest with you, because we all have our own way of
truths.
understanding things, right? So that's why I speak street thug, I speak scientist, I speak life coach,
Gravity
you know.
is by itself,
There you go.
with no one around. Is it a force?
I would say, okay, I will
But
say
then
this.
if you're with it,
Gravity, if there's nothing to drop, is useless. It's only there to serve the matter that it is vibing with, you could say, that it's around. So I guess that is true. It's not a force that's going to be penetrative. It's just there. If it's necessary, it's there to drop something. you could
Okay,
say.
but effects have causes.
That's true. Yeah.
So what's the cause of the effect?
That's a good question.
Can you rephrase that? Like, say it in a
I
different
don't.
way?
I actually am
What
thinking
caused
about
the
this.
gravity?
I don't even know how I could ask that better.
Okay,
If
so
gravity is
you're
an
saying
effect,
where does
then what
the
is
law of gravity
cause
come
of
from?
the effect?
Where does the law of gravity come from? Is that what you're?
I'm saying if it's an effect, what is the cause of the effect?
The cause of the effect is
Things.
us, is everything that would require the gravity to work.
things fall.
So it might be a human body, it might be an animal, it might be a rock
What
getting
caused
dropped.
the human body?
The human body. Well, that's
Wait,
the
hold
mystery.
on. Let me ask you a question.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Gravity as a force, okay, you say it's an effect. This is an effect. Okay, but all effects have causes. What is the cause of this effect of gravity? You say, well, human beings are the effect of the
Well,
cause
I
of
would
the
I
life?
would say that honestly, even though I don't mean this to be like flippant, but I think that that's what we would call God. We would call that the mystery. There's certain things, it's a little above our pay grade of exactly how it came to be and exactly why it mathematically works perfectly and exactly why it's there. I mean, it's like the mystery of
So you don't
creating
know,
life.
right? You don't know what the cause is. That's what you're actually saying. Is I just
No,
don't know
I'm
what the
saying
cause
that
is to the
I can
effect.
say definitively the cause is what I would call God. You can call
Okay.
it whatever you want.
Got
You can
it.
call it
So the
science.
effect, so the cause of gravity is, or the effect of gravity is God. God is causing gravity to happen.
Well,
Is that-
I mean,
is that
I
your
hate to
stance?
say God because we have like this particular image, but that's just the best word that we've kind of come up with. You can call it the mystery. Again, the
Now,
mystery.
when you get into frequency, it's interesting because now, don't take this the wrong way, but from my perspective, what you're saying is a bunch of pseudoscientific nonsense. When you're talking about frequency, it is true that solid objects do have a frequency. For instance, if you took a wine glass and you hit the right pitch with your voice, you could break the glass. The reason that that glass breaks is because it does have a frequency, and the frequency of your voice, if they intersects, it can dissolve objects. There is precedent for this. We've known about this for a long, long, long time. What I don't understand, though, is this idea that there's no such thing as something solid.
There's not. See, you were already mistaken because you were calling the glass solid. And
It
you
is solid.
also said that it had a frequency. So if it has a frequency by nature, it's not solid.
That doesn't make any sense. Or
Because
follow.
a frequency connotes that something is in movement. If it's in movement, it's by nature not solid.
Okay, I'm
No,
moving this
no,
on.
that-
I'm moving this on. I'm moving it on. Final question on this. 2 + 2 = 4. Agree or disagree?
I mean, it depends on what the 2 is. Is it a pregnant mom? Is it 2 pregnant moms? Because that's more. So it's everything is not as
No,
simple.
I mean like math.
Just like 2 pencils plus 2 pencils. Is that what we're talking?
Yeah, like the
Two.
number,
The number two, the plus the number two.
2 plus the number 2.
I would say for the most part, yes.
What do you mean for the most part?
Like I said,
What-
there's some
some parts.
variations where, but the thing is, even that is a flawed concept because it's that pencil is billions of atoms that are vibrating. So we've come to call it one pencil, but it's actually however many atoms vibrating on the same frequency to make this appearance, this optical illusion that this is a pencil. And our human mind needs to label things and conceptualize it in solid form. So we just call
If it's not
things
solid,
for that.
then how does it break?
Well, technically, it's not really broken. I mean,
It's
even
not
that's
broken?
well, you could say now it appears as 2 pieces. It still was never
Because
solid.
it's two pieces. That's why, right?
Well, no offense, but I think
Let's
you
say
need
you're
to
if you're
go
in a
to school little
kindergarten
longer.
class and the
Well, no
teacher,
offense, that's not an answer.
How is it not an
It's
answer?
saying no offense, but I don't have an answer to that.
I
just need to
gave
go
you
to
the
school is
answer
not
and you
an
didn't
answer.
want to
What's the
accept it, so
answer?
that's not my fault.
Why
if you don't
does
want
the
to accept
glass break if it's not solid?
it only appears to break.
It only appears
Just like
to,
a
so
heart
it's not,
only appears
so-
to break. It's still your
Okay.
heart.
No,
you still
but
go on.
that's way different. When you go through a heartbreak,
It's honestly
just
not.
the saying.
It's not that different, you
can't
guys, on
see
a
your
scientific
heart
microscopic
broken.
level. It's not
Right,
that
so
different.
You can't see the heart broken because it's not really getting broken. It's a
You
saying.
can't die from a broken heart.
Just like the pencil, it's just a
But-
saying that
but
I
no,
broke the
I
pencil.
agree
It's
with
just,
you.
it's the same
But
thing scientifically.
okay, that's like you saying I'm not really one human body because I'm made up of a million cells.
And that is true. I describe myself as more of a constellation. I'm a constellation of atoms and energy, and I
But you're
appear.
one person. You're one human
I
body.
mean, I don't think of myself as one of anything.
But
I
you
think of
can
myself
say
very
that. You can say that's your
multidimensional.
truth. But the reality is, you are
No,
one
it's
human
actually,
being.
No, the reality is actually
Okay, so I
not
could just
that.
grab a part of you, and there's two of you.
You could grab a piece of my hair.
But
and
that's your hair
But
coming
guess what?
off.
That's just a part
That's
of
all
you.
my DNA. All my DNA is in that one piece of
Yeah,
hair.
but that's
My
not.
whole
That's
But
not
that's not your-
explaining-
that's not your
hang on,
body, though.
That's
That
not
comes off of
explaining
your body.
ontology.
Exactly. And guess what? My body is not who I am.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but that's
It's
so. That's
true.
an ontological claim. What is you then?
There is I'm not definable. I am.
You're not.
I
You
thought
don't
you were
exist.
valuable
am.
though. I thought you were very valuable though, and you were very unique.
You don't.
I
wait,
am.
You don't
Just
exist.
like
You're
God
Schrodinger's,
came,
you're
Jesus
Schrodinger's
said,
feminist
I
made
am.
flesh. You just don't exist.
I am. I am.
You both exist and both don't exist at the same time.
We're very complex, aren't we?
All right, Madison,
No,
read
not
these,
really.
please.
I mean,
ahead.
when you make an ontological claim,
Vibration
you should probably
causes
justify
Read it,
it.
Madison.
When we're dead, aside from death rattle, nothing is moving. I've only expended maybe 80 years worth of vibration when I was alive. How do I pass on vibration when I dead?
When I did.
You have 10 seconds to answer that if you want.
You're essentially when this biological body dies, your energetic vibration is still there. So we could call that the afterlife, whatever you want to say. You decompose and your energy recycles back into
Go
your
ahead,
body.
Madison.
This trick is confusing science with an achievement you can unlock in Assassin's Creed Unity.
Well, I got to ask this one last question. Does 2 + 2 equal 4?
In your brain, it definitely does.
In everyone's brain,
No,
it does.
I'm asking you.
Again, if it's like, what are we talking about? Two
The number
what?
two.
I'm just
Numbers.
asking you a
Literally
simple
the
question.
number
Does
two.
2
You
+
guys are
2
not-
equal 4?
One atom plus one atom equals 2. Yes.
Okay, what about
Okay,
two
so
atoms?
does
and
2
two atoms?
+ 2 so
That
again, I
equals
just want a yes
whatever
or
that
no.
is. 2
Does
plus 2
it,
is
or
4.
yes or no, equal 4?
Say it again.
Does I just want a yes or no. Does 2 + 2 equal 4?
If we're talking on the atomic level, yes.
Okay, what level does it not equal 4?
Anything other than the atomic level.
So anything other than the atomic level, meaning
I am a body made of billions of cells.
Well, that
so
feels like my brain.
Say that again.
That felt like my brain.
it's too heady for this. Why are we even talking about all this science, guys? Who cares?
It just feels like nobody else.
No,
Just
mine's
me.
melting right now.
This is above most people's pay grade. We don't need to talk
it's
about
2
this.
+ 2 is.
You
we
are
can all agree
definitely-
on that.
I
It's
wrote
not
books
even
that
science
breaks
itself
this
has
all
nothing
down
but
into
flesh
very
holes for men.
basic day-to-day
Yeah.
terms.
Go
You
ahead,
can just
Madison,
read my
read
books.
it. Go ahead, Madison.
You are
read it.
definitely, you
Yeah,
define
but the
yourself
books-
as
oh,
nothing
but
but
no,
flesh
no,
holes
no,
for
stop,
men
stop,
to
stop,
use
stop.
as sexual
Go ahead,
gratification. I'd usually say, please go home and think about your actions, but maybe stop thinking so much.
That is true.
There's
That
another
is
one
true.
coming in. Go ahead, Madison.
This trick is confusing science. We already read that. With an achievement you can unlock
did we read
in
this?
Assassin's
Oh, my
Creed
bad, my
Unity.
bad. Nickelodeon, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Andrew, with your point.
I was just going to ask what the resonant frequency of your books are.
Hang on, people.
The resonant
frequency. Sorry.
Yeah,
Wait, what am I answering? Am I answering?
I'm
the-
asking like what frequency are your books at?
Truth. The resonant frequency is truth plus love.
Yeah, well,
Christ
what
consciousness.
is
It's
the,
Christ
What is
consciousness.
the numerical value of the frequency of truth?
We can look it up. There really is. You can look up the resonant frequency of truth plus love, which is Christ consciousness. Technically, it has a number.
Christ consciousness.
It has a number. You can look it up.
What's the number?
I don't know it off the top of my head. It's not really important to me. What's important
Where
is
can
to
I
live
look
it.
up the Christ consciousness number?
You can easily Google it yourself.
Yeah, but I'm asking where. Like, where would I look that information up for Christ consciousness?
Google.
Why would you wanna
What
look
is
up
the
that information?
vibrational frequency of authenticity? That's what it is.
Oh.
Did you show the whole thing, or how long was it? I don't know.